So, as I predicted, here's Train Sim World 6, due to be released on September 30th of this year. It's September 28th when I'm recording this. And they're going to release it on PlayStation 5 and Xbox, as well as on the Steam and Epic platforms for Windows mostly. And they have all the usual additions, more routes. They also have station announcements now, so a lot of cool stuff. Although what a lot of people are saying is that it's an incremental improvement from Train Sim World 5. They have the new New Jersey Transit Morristown line there. And Great Western, they make an appearance again, this time with proper period, meaning in this case modern equipment. It will be interesting to find out if this will work on the Great Western Main out of Paddington, if there are scenarios for that. I'm hoping there are going to be. And train failures that you have to negotiate. Fair enough. Although some of that was in Train Sim World 5 also, just more abstracted out. And yeah, so a lot of interesting stuff. And here's the Steam page. They are offering Train Sim World 6 to long-time users, as I understand it, for a discount. So they can play it earlier, and not by a lot, starting from the 25th. So this is already in effect, this, if you will, early access of Train Sim World 6. This is not loading here, but this is the Steam webpage, of course. The reviews are not actually all that good. Only 66% consider it good. However, I won't read through all of them here, but what is true about these is that they're mostly complaining about bugs that have not been worked out or design flaws that maybe were not worked out correctly. And what I presume is that these will be resolved fairly soon. An advantage of early access, of course, is that you can work out bugs before release with basically free beta testing from the community. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. The downside is that you get some negative reviews in the beginning on Steam because people are playing it as if it's a fully released, fully finished game. Now, as I said, it's September 28th today. I have actually been one of the players who got a discount on a pre-order and early access for Train Sim World 6. So I'm going to do a very clumsy attempt at testing it now. This will not be one of my proper playthroughs, but it will be an attempt at giving you an early look. And I know plenty of other people are ahead of me because I'm a few days behind on this. But this is my first look at Train Sim World 6. So anyway, this is the first look you get. You can import your existing profile, which I'll do later. But for now, just for demonstration's sake, I'll create a new profile. Same generic face. All these people look pretty generic. And then we have all these choices. You can get started with training, you can go with standard, whatever that means, and then experience. I'm going to jump to the main menu because I want to turn the sound down a little bit. Looking for the main. Say tutor trains. Nope. There we go, settings. A little bit easier to deal with there, because the sound was really loud. Keep the music in the background here. Got anything else here? Okay. The resolution of this is going to be a little bit mediocre because I've been forced to put it in windowed mode. The reason is this little logout button wouldn't work otherwise. Let's get back here. Accessibility. I'd like to use the HUD because this is not real life and it can just be really hard reading the gauges on screen otherwise. Normal. And we'll go back. Now, actually, rather than doing the trainings that I've done in other playthroughs, let's try the To the Trains Your Collection, meaning that we can train on some of the new content. So, training modules. This they say is new, but actually I already have this from Train Sim World 2. Excel Express is kind of the same thing. So let's try a training session on something that I haven't trained on before. Well, they have said that this is the first Dutch train with this rather unpronounceable name. ICM M3. Oh, that's not so hard to pronounce. MBFK. There are 2 tutorials on it. Let's try it, because I've never done this before. That's the route introduction. I already know what that means. They just do a tour of the route, so it's better to do this. Get started. Looks like it's going to be in the training session rather than on the actual route. But we'll get to do something new anyway.
In this training module, you'll be learning to drive the NS Intercity Material ICM, Electric Multiple Unit. Prototypes of the ICM were built and tested in 1976 to 77, with the first train sets coming into service in 1977. It has become an iconic train for NS, servicing many intercity services to this day. Multiple subseries of the train have existed throughout its lifetime, going through multiple iterations of modernization. Working for over 40 years, this makes it one of the oldest train types, still in active passenger service, in the NS fleet. The unique design of the ICM has their cabs located on the roof, which initially allowed through gangways between coupled sets. Refurbishments of the sets between 2006 and 2011 removed these gangways as they were deemed unreliable. The ICM received the nickname Koploper because it had what's called a walk-through head, though after modernization, this walk-through was removed. Insert the master key. Set the headlights to indicate that this train is operational.
So we gotta switch it to headlight, that means yes. Headlight centered on. It already was, okay. Light right to headlight.
You will need to set the main mode selector. This cycles the train through 4 different modes: driving, parking, off, and cleaning.
High voltage on is not already on. Okay, it's ready there. Electro-pneumatic brakes to on, right there. Okay. Hold the brake lock pin.
Open the passenger doors to allow boarding.
Okay, still the U key here.
Close the doors before departure. Release the brakes. Set the reverser to forward. This controls the direction of travel. Move the throttle into the power range to get moving. With a designed top speed of 180 kilometers per hour, this train runs service speeds limited to 140 kilometers per hour.
I know the speed limit in the Netherlands can often run up to 160 though. Alright. I'm going to switch to my keyboard here. Making it really easy here. It's the first time I've ever driven this ever. I didn't even do practice for this video.
Now you've built up some speed. On level grades, you can coast to maintain your speed, reducing energy consumption and stress on the motors. When coasting, always remain vigilant of the gradient, as changes could cause the train to speed up or slow down. Keeping to speed limits is important. If you begin overspeeding, apply a small amount of braking force by moving the train brake into the braking range.
I could push it much harder, but I'm gonna have to stop. Less than a mile there. It's taking a long time. Let's see. I'm getting further away. I'm gonna speed up. Now I think I should ease off here. Brakes are nice. Yeah, but I should give a little bit more brake here.
You are approaching the station. Begin applying a small amount of braking force by moving the train brake into the braking range.
See if I can get it stopped safely here.
Nice job. The train has safely come to a stop. You can now use the passenger door controls to open the doors. Good work. That concludes all of the basics of operating this train.
All right. So where next? Let's go to the main menu and take a look at a few more things. So far, so good. The only bug I've found is this little button over here that only works in windowed mode. The bugs that people are talking about haven't been evident either in my setup for this or in the playthrough so far. So we have largely the same main menu here. Creators Club for custom content. The official store here for different things. Look at the roots. Empty collection. So why is this here? Let's go back. Oh, you own all. Yeah, because I got the special edition. And they don't have any DLCs yet. Okay. And actually, I have a lot of the old stuff that's been re-released. Other releases. Still not there. I guess they got to port a bunch of stuff since this is a new version. And any Creators Club stuff? Online sharing hub? I think these may have been prepared in advance, from the look of it. But still, only 6 entries so far. Completely understandable. Let's look at the scenario planner. This would probably be something to do in and of itself. As a separate video. I think this would be too much to do right now. I would like to take a look at this though. Not today though. Let's get back here. Livery designer, of course. I haven't found the past versions of this very satisfactory. But you can see all the undecorated ones that you could paint up. F unit there, of course. FD40-2. And a lot of new stuff, like the 802 there. Alright. Let's see what else we got here. The training center, I have found they've pared it down. This might be because I don't have all the extra stuff fully installed yet, but I don't know about that because I think I do. We go back. When we look at the routes, I have all the routes. Or at least all the routes that have been ported over. Including some stuff that's very, very old. Like, for example, the sand patches from the original Train Sim World CSX Heavy Haul, which is the original, I don't know what you'd call it, beta or pre-release or ancestor of Train Sim World. Yeah. Let's check out the training center just for laughs. Play now. We're not really going to be playing a scenario here. We'll just be walking around, checking out what's in the training center. I've actually done a dry run of this first, and I think I'm going to change the settings. Settings. Audio. This is a little bit too loud, so I'm going to lower it a bit so we can actually do a video here. I'll put it back up later. Huh, after I start? Back? Okay. Alright. That's a little bit more manageable volume. So, they've stripped this place down quite a lot. They've gone back to only the training equipment, including a training version of the SD40-2 here. And of course the 323 EMU. The British Rail Class 66. And the Stanier 8F. So these have all been seen before. I found a really freaky thing about this though. I don't know if it's new or if I didn't notice it before. Over here we have some of the German equipment. So we have Deutsche Bahn Class 146 electric, and over here we have an engine house, or a loco shed, as the British might call it. And if I go up against it here, I'm going to put the volume back. I don't know if you can hear it on the video, but there's a locomotive in there, right? You listen carefully. And you can kind of hear where it is if you go up close to it. It should be right about here. Right? You can hear that, right? The graphics are quite nice too, actually. But one of the things that hasn't changed from Train Sim World 5, you can go through these doors with a train, but not on foot, like this. And this door still doesn't work. And, just for laughs, earlier, on one of my tests, I ran one of the locomotives through these doors, and I found no locomotive in here at all. So there's a ghost sound file in there. I don't know if you can call it a bug, but it's a weird, unrealistic feature. Fix the sound here again for us. Maybe a little lower this time. And the training center is still the same. I explored it, didn't find anything new. Maybe there's something hidden in here, but I haven't found it. I think these guys were in here before. Maybe. And these people, I don't remember. But just like before, you can't get into these rooms for the most part. There's only one room that's accessible. I can find it here. Yes, this one. So you can talk. You can walk up to this guy, but you can't talk to him. He might be there for some future purpose, but for the moment, you can't really do anything with him. I haven't found that these computers do anything. Actually, if you look carefully, there's Train Sim World on one of the versions of it on the laptop, which is a little funny. I can close the door. Yes. Okay. Yeah, so there's not a lot to see here. I thought that maybe there'd be an expansion, but actually it's a rollback. It might be that they plan on filling this up with more stuff when the new DLCs come out. That might be it, because that's what they did on the previous versions, and it was getting kind of ridiculous by Train Sim World 5, because it was all the older DLCs ported from previous versions, and it was maybe getting a little bit even outdated, because it was mostly about the content from previous versions of Train Sim World. Now they've gone back to the basics. And some of the freight equipment is still in the yard. These double-decker or bi-level coaches are carried over. These are German. They're not Caltrans units. But back in the yard, let's see how much freight they actually have. Just as one last look here before I conclude. I found some more locomotives over here. Like 2 British Rail Class 66s. What's down in the yard? Let's take a look. I don't know if I've actually walked a first mile. I mean, possibly, but it seems like I wouldn't be able to walk a mile in the time that I have. Although this pace looks more like a run, really. Very fast run. That might be why. In previous versions of Train Sim World, they put a bunch of freight equipment back here for you to practice with. And I'm curious to see what is in here now. I wasn't hugely pleased with some of the cuts made in Train Sim World 5. We have a German freight van here. Just looking at it, I can't tell if this is the kind that slides open, but I think it is. I don't know as much about German stuff as I do about American and British. And then these are auto carriers, of course. Much more common in mainland Europe now than in America, because they were replaced with the enclosed auto carriers from about the 80s onwards, when graffiti started to become a huge problem. Very strangely, graffiti nowadays is a much bigger problem in Germany than in the US, and yet they still have the open auto carriers. And some tanks. But nothing that looks particularly American back here. It looks like they've gone with all German freight equipment, although I know they have some British coal wagons, some very old ones. Actually, there are some of them right over there. Yeah, these are old coal wagons from the steam era in Britain. Very old-fashioned. In fact, these don't even appear to have brakes on them, or air brakes, or vacuum brakes anyway. So they're loose coupled. So as old-fashioned gets. More primitive than what the US had after about the, I don't know, give or take the railroad 1880s or 1890s or so. They mostly got rid of loose-coupled trains in the US by the 20th century, but Britain kept them for a long time afterwards. Another Class 146 here. Now, I know that they have some controls built into Train Sim World for driving cars, even though I haven't found one that's drivable yet. This one doesn't appear to be drivable. Maybe they never finished that functionality, because I don't see any chance to drive here, other than trains. After a certain point, you have to say enough when you're building a simulator. You can't simulate absolutely everything. You probably wouldn't want to. Alright, so that's enough for our first look at Train Sim World. Train Sim World 6. And I will give them a few weeks to clean the thing up, get rid of the bugs, and then I'll really, hopefully, do something more proper with less haste than this video was thrown together with. So, in the meantime, thanks for watching.